Hi guys. I just wanted to check in this morning and do what I call a little psychic pause. The energy is really intense this week as we leave April and enter May. As of next week, things will calm down. But this weekend, like today, tomorrow, Sunday in particular, we're almost dealing with like the residue of that fixed grand cross between Mars in Leo, Pluto in Aquarius, and the Sun moving into Taurus. And if you think of it as all of this tension that was being held for like a good 10 days, and finally, as the energy releases, we then have almost like an explosion. But if you think of it as a volcano erupting, it's not just like in a split second, it's like bubbling and it comes up and then it goes on and then we deal with the residue for a couple of days. That's where we are at the moment. The reason that I wanted to speak about this is that for some of us, the energy can feel quite dark at the moment. And as Pluto prepares to retrograde, goes retrograde on the 4th in the sign of Aquarius, some of us might feel as though we are taking a bit of a journey into the underworld. Okay, so that is where life can get really dark. And if you're afraid of the dark, or if you believe that spirituality is just about being in the light and good things happening and kumbaya, then you might find this period of time that's coming up a little bit difficult. And I think if we can get into a place where being in the dark can be positive, let's think about what happens in the dark. I mean, seeds are sown into soil, it's pitch black, and eventually something good sprouts and grows, and we have the light helping things to transform. Our shadow is in the dark. And if we can figure out how to get into the shadow and look at all of those hidden patterns and stories and things that we tell ourselves or that others have told us, we can then take those out of the dark and transform them into the light. And if you just think about the moon at night, when we have the light of the moon illuminating those things that do happen in the dark, we have an opportunity to bring out anything that's festering, that's stagnant, potentially things that no longer serve us. And unless we're prepared to sometimes take that underworld journey, to sometimes go into the dark, unless we're prepared to do that, we might find that we're suffering more than we would like. And so the energy that we're currently dealing with Venus joining Neptune rules the 12th house, the darkness, the ultimate optimized temple, spiritual temple. Pluto preparing to retrograde, as I said, we've got the dark moon Lilith, black moon Lilith in Scorpio. So we are being asked to really think about where we've allowed things to stay in the shadows or stay in the dark too long. We're being asked to get into our power by looking at our shadows. We're being asked, what is it that we're afraid to look at? Where are we afraid to dig deep in order to really receive that powerful transformation? So I guess the only thing that we can ask for in these moments of darkness, I swear, there is a dragonfly on the other side of this window. And if you know anything about spiritual symbols, you know that a dragonfly represents a loved one that's passed or a divine message coming in. And yeah, it just flew up to the window and has just gone. So I guess that all we can ask for is guidance, like really powerful guidance that serves us, where we feel as though the darkness can be temporary, where we can come out of a phase like this, feeling empowered, rather than feeling destitute, depressed, demoralized, where we can look at our shadows and come into full acceptance of who we are and take that shadow, transmute it into light and love, and use that to help us deal with life, I guess. So today, the veil is definitely thinner. I am doing a group live psychic reading that will not be recorded. So if you have questions, if you're struggling with anything, if you're just curious about what's happening for the collective, if you want to know what might happen tomorrow, next week, whatever, do your best to join me. Even if you're doing something else, have it on in the background. I will still pick up your energy. Message me, like comment and let me know what your questions are. I'll do my best to answer them. But what I'd say for right now is there's a ton of stuff transforming in our relationships, business, romantic, and even with families. There's a ton of stuff transforming as far as, I want to say, self-mastery. So if you're learning a new skill, if you're thinking about studying, if you're thinking about moving into a new field, you've been given support as far as mastery, and it might just require you to take a little step backward, to go really deep into your shadow, to confront some of the things that you might be a little bit afraid of, to look at some of the things that people have accused you of, right? So the mastery is available, but it does require going deep and being open to that transformation that allows you to step into your truth, develop those skills, and move forward. There is obviously going to be quite a bit of transformation around money. I do see that there is a huge hack coming in. That's nothing new with the energies that have been happening, but let's think about Venus meeting with Neptune in Aries. I do see that there are numbers being downloaded, being pulled away from people. I do see that this could potentially be one of the biggest hacks that we've had in a long time. And of course, there's deception, there's fraud and illusion around it. And I do believe that it has something to do with governments. I could get into a bit more detail, but I don't know who's going to watch this. So, I'm still very mindful of my own safety and protection. But there is like higher level hacks coming in. And of course, we should be on our guard. We should be protecting, changing passwords, updating systems, getting that malware in, getting the malware protection software in, getting your VPN looked at, do whatever you need to do. Online, anything digital, if you have a digital business, if you operate online quite a bit, there is huge transformation coming in for you there. So if you have like a major program or software that you use for your work, your business, your personal life, secure it, like 2-3 step verification type thing. So that hack is definitely on its way and has probably already started. There is definitely a ton of political stuff behind some of this. I also want to say that if you're traveling or planning a trip anytime soon, use your intuition. Be very mindful of flight. Be very mindful of unnecessary trips. This is not a time to be gallivanting, and I'm not fear-mongering. I'm just saying use your intuition. So unless it's absolutely necessary, if it doesn't feel right, there will be more happening with aviation, and not just literally planes falling out of the sky. But I do see more air ambulance activity. I see more helicopters. I see more big birds in the sky. And there is stuff around flight that is going to be taking place. Now, I don't want this to be all doom and gloom, because there are always good things, right? The universe is balanced, like kind and loving. So while we do have this kind of downward, like underworld trajectory happening, what I will say is that there is resolution coming in for anybody who has, in the past 2-3 months, put a big request out into the universe. So if you're trying to manifest a certain amount of money, if you're trying to organize wealth, savings, investments, you're going to have some support coming in really, really soon. If you have thought about relocating, moving, if you're planning on your new home, your next home, the energy is supporting this. And what I would say is, if you are, so there's a very precise energy here of people going from very small. So it could be like you rent a room, you've got a small apartment, a studio, a condo, into what feels like a palatial place. And that could literally just be because there's an opportunity to have something come in that offers more for your money, right? The economy is struggling in a lot of places at the moment. But also that move, that relocation, that upgrade of home benefits families right now. And it doesn't necessarily mean your family. It could be that you benefit another family in your move. It could be that other people are inspired by your move and then a family member joins you or something like that. Or it could just mean that you move and then start your family. The relocation energy is really powerful. What I would say with Pluto preparing to retrograde is that Pluto will help you to review, reevaluate, and reconnect with anything that's been hidden from you. So, in my own life, I had a situation many years ago where I was trying to move. I was quite young, and my mum kept intercepting phone calls and hiding my mail and all these things that were related to me moving. And one day I just happened to get to the phone first, and the lady was there and she was like, "This is my last call to see if we could actually do this exchange." And it got done, but I missed like almost 2 months worth of communication. So this Pluto retrograde in Aquarius is giving access. It's giving access to things that have been hidden, secrets that have been held from you. The truth will be revealed. And this, for the most part, is allowing people to either uncover inheritances, uncover hidden pregnancies, uncover contracts, uncover messages that have been held back from you. Or it might be as simple as, if you had put a bid in on a property and it had gone, it's coming back to you. If you had applied for a job and you've not heard from them, they're coming back in now. If you had interviewed for a position and then there's nothing, it's coming back right now. So just get into a space of deep meditation. Don't be afraid to look at the mess. Don't be afraid to look at the dark stuff. Do not run away from anything that feels shadowy. So if there's a part of you, and take this lightly and with love and respect, but if there's a part of you that is like, I might need to do a little bit of manipulation to make this situation work out for me, that might be your shadow piping up and saying, we have to do this one time to make the next step, to get that quantum leap happening. If there's something where you can feel a power struggle happening, especially in relationships, do what you need to do to feel safe, to feel secure within yourself, to not feel too vulnerable and too much out of your shell. Okay. If there is something happening with your family, especially with children at this time, and you can see what's happening and nobody's listening, and you feel like, you're doing the dog whistle, get a little bit creative. Email everyone, like put something in the group, like do it anonymously if you have to. Think about the end result. Sometimes when we have this kind of energy, it is time for us to honor our shadow, because the life that you want to live, the path is not linear. It's not a straight upward curve. We're talking about zigzags here. And on the downs, we must go within. We must think about how Pluto can serve us. We must think about how Neptune and Venus can serve us. We must think about where we have a fire in our belly and where we're willing to harness those flames. So that's my psychic pause for this morning. If you found this video useful, please share it with other people. This is only going out to my subscribers on Beyond the Veil. So if you know anyone who's like, I need a psychic reading, I need a medium, I want some guidance, or their life appears to be falling apart and they don't know why, share this video. Give them a subscription. Do what you need to do, because when the guidance comes through, when my channel is open, I'm pulling messages through for I don't always know who. So share the message, share the good news. Let's help each other. Like, it's going to be a little bit rough over the next few days. So the more we support each other, the more we help each other, the more we get to end suffering. So if this was useful for you, please share. Thank you for watching. And for those of you who are paid subscribers, I will see you later in the group live reading. Thanks so much. Mwah. See you soon.